Are you planning on buying your first home soon? Do you want some support for those pesky legal fees you have to pay? Then stick around, there might just be something to help you out. Hey everyone, and welcome to The Savvy Squaddy. In this video I'm going to explain a lesser known allowance called Refund of Legal Expenses. Now there are two versions, just the normal plain old Refund of Legal Expenses and Refund of Legal Expenses New Buyer. I will be focusing mainly on the new buyer aspect of this, but I will briefly touch on the others towards the end so you are aware that it exists. Links to my sources are in the description. So back in early 2024, the new accommodation offer came out. People got upset, it was paused, and at the recording of this video it's still under review. In the meantime, a stripped back version was released known as the modernised accommodation offer. And from the 11th of March 2024, the Refund of Legal Expenses New Buyers was introduced. Right, so let's get the main question everyone has on their mind answered. How much can I claim? Currently it's capped at £1,500, but of course there are eligibility criteria and other bits and bobs before you can get any of that, so let's go through them. First up, this allowance is only available to regular serving personnel and those in FTRS full commitment. Phase 1 training must also have been completed. The serving person must also be a first-time buyer with the completion date on or after the 11th of March 2024. Within this context, a first-time buyer is someone who has not either alone or with someone else purchased a property or inherited one in the past. The property purchased must be the Resident at Work Address or RWA, which in simple terms means that this is the house they will live in and commute from every day to go to work, so it needs to be close to their duty station. But also it can't be within commutable distance from their previous duty station. This means there is a need to move home due to an assignment. And at the point the property was purchased, there is an expectation that the service person will remain at that duty station for at least another 12 months, and living in that house for that time too. So, to claim RLE New Buyer, you must have purchased your first home, which is where you live day to day, close to your new duty station, but far enough away from your previous one, upon receiving an assignment order where you will live for at least 12 months. But can you preempt and buy your first home before you get to your new posting? And what if you're already in your new post and have just purchased your first home? Well, JSP 464 Volume 1 Part 1 states that the service person must have begun their assignment at the relevant duty station within the same or previous tax year to when the property was purchased. So, if Corporal Bloggs received an assignment order to move up north with a report for duty date in 4 months' time, and he decides to buy his first home close to his new duty station before he gets there, perhaps to make his kids start the new term at their new school, then he could still claim the refund. Let's say instead he gets there and buys his first home within a couple of months of being posted, and it meets all the relevant criteria. He can still claim the refund providing it's in the same or previous tax year to when he got posted. If he waits too long, he might miss out. And this refund can also be claimed even if you use the Forces Help to Buy scheme. I have a whole video on that which I will link below. Right, when can you claim RLE New Buyer? The refund is claimed in arrears, meaning that you must first pay for it yourself and then provide receipts to make the claim after the expense has occurred. It can only be claimed upon completion of the house purchase and evidence of legal costs are produced. If the purchase of the property falls through, then the legal fees are not refundable because, well, you haven't been successful in the purchase of your first home. However, if you go on to complete the sale of another house, then you can claim the refund in this instance as it's still your first home purchased, albeit not your first attempt. Qualifying expenses do include legal fees paid to a solicitor or conveyance legal professional, land registry charges, telegraphic transfers and searches. Stamp duty is not considered a legal expense and so is not included. So how do you claim the refund? Once you have purchased the property and the sale is closed, take the required evidence such as receipts and proof of purchase to your HR and they will action the refund. Now earlier I mentioned there is just the plain old Refund of Legal Expenses. Chapter 12 Section 3 of JSP 752 covers this one in detail. I'm just going to provide a brief overview of it here. Essentially, the aim of this general refund of legal expenses is to help service members cover the legal costs of selling their home at their current duty station and buying a new one at their new assignment so they can stay on the housing market. So, whereas RLE New Buyer helps first-time buyers, this general version helps existing homeowners who sell their current RWA to buy a new one due to a new posting. It can also help those who decide to let out their RWA whilst they are posted elsewhere. To be eligible for this general RLE, you must have served 3 years and be regular or FTRS full commitment. This refund can also be claimed for each qualifying move, unlike the RLE new buyer, which can only be claimed once for obvious reasons. And as it stands, the amount that can be claimed is up to a maximum of £5,000. This general RLE is quite a bit more complex than that of the new buyer. If this applies to you, make sure to check out JSP 752. If there is enough demand, I can take a deeper dive into it. To claim, it's similar to the RLE new buyer and is also paid in arrears. You need to take the receipted invoices, all supporting paperwork to your HR and complete JPA form F004. Once assessed and approved, it'll be paid to you up to that maximum amount of £5,000. So that was quite a short video on the refund of legal expenses. I have had a lot more questions relating to the new buyer aspect than I have about the general RLE option. Just remember, you are not entitled to this if you buy your first home up north and live in the block down south, as that is not your residence at work address. I don't know if this will change once the modernised accommodation offer comes out of review. We shall have to wait and see on that one, but rest assured, once it's finally released, again, I will do an explainer video covering what's new and what's changed. So if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Were you aware of the refund for new buyers? Have you used this before? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. If you liked what you just saw, please hit the subscribe button up there. And if you want to see some more videos, click over there. See you soon.